years. So I think, yeah. Hey everybody, my name is Bill Harmon. I'm the General Manager of Goal Zero, and Kayvon Vasefi, who heads up our Product Development and Operations group, is here with us. We are at the Consumer Electronics Show 2024 here. Really excited to talk about some new innovations we have coming out. If I rewind a little bit and go back to 2009, Goal Zero launched the first solar generator. This product was designed really for a humanitarian mission. Over the last 14 years, we've launched 5 generations of solar generators. Each one of them advances the category forward. Today, we're here to launch the 6th generation of our compact line of power stations, as well as some additional what we call Yeti-ready products, in this case, some fridges, some portable refrigerators. In October of this year, we launched the flagship product, the Yeti 4000 of the 6th generation line, and again, today is all about the compact units you see in front of us. So before we get into too much detail, I'm going to start with Kayvon. Kayvon, tell us a little bit about why did we invent these? What was the problem we were trying to solve?
Well, the smaller Yetis that we've had have always been really awesome to sell because they really bridge the gap with outdoor but then also it's pretty powerful, able to be used in all of those applications. Also a number of different emergency backup scenarios in the home. And what we were trying to do with this generation was to really extend those use cases even further. Generally speaking, what we wanted to do is make it even more rugged for the outdoor use case, as well as be able to power more things for longer in a home. So we had to build in some additional innovations from the mechanical design and enclosure down to the battery and electronics so that we could achieve those goals. We have a lot of little details, but I don't know, you know as much about it as anyone, Bill,
yeah,
with some of the specs and ports. So
let's talk about it a little bit. So we've got 3 different sizes here: 300 watt hours, 500 watt hours, and 700 watt hours. And let's talk about some of those specs because I think a lot of the people listening want to know. So in the smallest unit, we've got a 350 watt inverter. In the 2 larger units, we have a 500 watt inverter. So these are class leading for their size. Next thing I want to talk about is the battery chemistry in them. We've moved to a lithium iron phosphate battery chemistry, which means we get up to 4,000 cycles all the way down to 0 and the battery recharged fully. If you think about 4,000 cycles, that means I can use this battery every day down to the bottom, all the way up to the top, and it'll last over 10 years. So really class-leading lifespan on the product. Next thing I want to talk about is charging capacity. So these use the latest charging technology. And what that means is we're going from our previous generation of Yeti power stations would charge in 5 to 10 hours generally. These will charge in under 2 hours. So specifically 50 minutes for the small guy, under an hour and a half for the medium. So much faster charging capacity from the wall. You can even, if you've got time and it's not a big deal, so you have the ability to change that setting both are on the front of the Yeti. And then the last thing I want to mention, which isn't really unique to any of our products, but is just consistent with the Yeti product line from Goal Zero, is unrivaled build quality. So we've put a lot of technology into these and a lot of thought into the build quality. So a couple examples, these are all certified to UL 2743, and that's the outdoor rating. And if you get into the details of that, that means that we are spraying water into these at a 45-degree angle and ensuring they continue to function and continue to work and aren't damaged by that. Spec 810, so these are designed for extensive vibration, drop tests, all those kind of things. So really a great build quality and nothing new. There's an aluminum shell that these are built around, which means when I often say when I turn these on the side, I can drive my car over these things and they and things. These are really professional grade products as opposed to trinkets or toys that we sometimes see in our category. And then lastly, let me just mention price. I think everybody knows that $350, $500, coming up pretty quick. We already have, I'll tell you, we've already got the first production run of these sitting in our warehouse in Utah. We're going through final testing of everything. We're loading the latest firmware on them so they're ready to go. And that's another last thing I should mention before we move on, is that they're all app enabled. That means I can control them, I can monitor them, and I can upgrade the firmware in them. Goal Zero will be launching the latest generation of firmware, as well as the app every once in a while, probably once a quarter or so, and you'll be able to upload that into each of your units. So that is the Yeti 3, we call them the Yeti 357, the 300, the 500, and the 700. Again, shipping January the 30th, $350, $500, $700, or $650, coming out January 30th. Now let's move on. One of the things you might ask is, well, what are some of the things you might want to power with these? And we've spent some time thinking about what some of those things might be, and actually launching products designed specifically to work with these. And we call those the Yeti Ready line of products. You may be aware of the Skylight that launched just a few months ago. And today we're launching also 2 fridges. Kayvon, tell us a little bit about these portable fridges that are really designed to work with our Yetis.
Yeah, we have them right here. This is the Alta 50 and the Alta 80. And these are the 2 sizes that we're going to be launching here at the same time as the Yeti 300, 500, 700. They'll be available at the end of this month, just like the Yetis. And our goal with Yeti Ready projects in general is to make them really, really useful and hyper efficient for the precious power that's inside of these portable batteries. So that's our #1 priority. Just like with the Skylight, these fridges were engineered to maximize efficiency and runtime. So in our case, on both of these fridges, what we have done is we've used a really efficient LG compressor that we're super proud of. We also are using R600A refrigerant, which is the most eco-friendly refrigerant that we can use. And together with all the design features and insulation and things on both of the models, we generally get 25% or more efficiency out compared to the leading products in the market.
So your battery lasts 25% longer than with a competitor's fridge.
As an example, on our smallest Yeti now, this 300, if you take a similarly sized product in the market, they'll run for about 25, 27 hours. Compared to the Alta 50, whereas the Alta 50 on the same exact battery in our testing, we run for 37 hours. So quite a bit more runtime, a lot more efficiency, which is really, really valuable when you think about the ecosystem. And then on top of that, similar to the Yeti 357, these are app enabled, so you're able to monitor and control the temperature from a phone or a device. And then the other thing to note about both of them, before I get into brief specifics about each, is that they both come with an insulated cover, so you don't have to buy that separately like you do with the rest of the people.
Everyone else, you've got to buy it separately.
Yeah.
Ours comes with it.
Included with that. So pretty excited and really proud of what we're able to do coming out the gate with these fridges. And then as far as specifics go, the Alta 50 is a 53-liter capacity. What that generally means is about 75 cans is one way to think about what 53 liters is. And then the price on this guy is $7.99. So that's what we'll be able to ship and launch in at the end of this month. And then on the 80, the Alta 80, that's a 78-liter refrigerator, whereas the 50 is a single zone with a single temperature setting. This is a dual zone, so you have 2 different compartments. You can set each one independently, so you can have a freezer and a fridge. And then that 78 liters gives you 130 cans of space. And that guy is $9.99 is the price point that we're going to launch with.
And so we can run these directly off the DC power in any of our power stations.
Yeah.
You can also, how else can you power it if you didn't want to power it from a power station?
Both of them have a 12-volt input, which means you can run it off anything with 12 volts. Generally, a car, cigarette lighter.
Cigarette lighter. Yeah.
They both come with the smaller form factor plug, the 6mm plug that's on the Yetis, but also the cigarette lighter plug that you can plug into the Yeti or the vehicle. And then they also have AC adapters. So
I can just plug it into a wall.
AC power source, yeah, into the wall. And just one quick note going back to the Yetis, we're really excited about these super efficient fridges, but this will be the first line of small Yetis where you can consistently run full-size fridges too. So leaning into that emergency backup power, these are the best fridges to run off of portable power, but the Yetis can also run full-size refrigerators.
Yeah. And maybe I'll mention one last thing before we wrap up today. I actually just set up one of our Yeti 300s at home. I'm using it as sort of a UPS on my Wi-Fi and my routers and those things. And what's great about these is they have automatic power switching, which means we run power into them so that it's charging and power out to the devices I really care about. When the grid is up, the Yeti says, oh, the grid is up, it just passes that power through. When or if the grid goes down, it switches over in literally milliseconds. Your devices won't even know it's happened, so everything stays up and stays running. So it's a really great option to use. You know, if you can back up your entire home with our Yeti 4000 or at least significant portions of it, that's an ideal scenario. If you can't do that and you just want to back up small portions of your home, these are great devices to use like that, and I've got one set up in my home right now working just like that. Well, that's a wrap today. We're really excited to be here at CES. We're excited to launch these new innovations and new products. Again, the Yeti 300, 500, and 700 launching January the 30th, or shipping January the 30th. And then the Alta 50 and 80 over here, also shipping on January the 30th. We're excited for this, and we hope you'll go to goalzero.com to learn more about them. Thanks, everybody.